Hey y'all, welcome back to A Dinosaur in the Library, and it's Vlogmas day 2, and thanks for coming back. So today what I want to do is my winter break TBR. So the semester's not technically over yet, and I still have a little bit of work to do, but I've completed most of my major assignments. All I have left to do is turn in a paper, give it one more glance over and turn it in, and then I have some grading to do, but my students' final due date isn't here yet, so of course they're not all turned in yet, so I don't have everything to grade. I'm just kind of grading those as they trickle in, and reading in the meantime. So I'm pretty much free for the break, and I am very excited, to the point that I finished the book I was reading and then finished 2 middle grade books immediately after, and then started a 4th, because I have been so deprived of my leisure reading this semester that it's so bad. So bad. And I'm just so excited to be able to read whatever I want for a little while. I do have work that I need to do over the break, but it shouldn't take up enough time that it will kill my leisure reading, thankfully. So I've got a shortish list of books I want to read, because these are the ones I kind of want to get to, but I've also got a bunch on my shelves that I'll probably be snatching here and there, just as I get the chance. But I'm just going to go ahead and get started. The first book that I want to read, I've actually already started reading, and that's John Scalzi's Lock-In. I'm about 5 chapters in, and I'm really enjoying this so far. I heard about this multiple places, but Elena, whose channel I will link below, really enjoyed this book, and I thought I'd give it a try, because I've never read any John Scalzi before, I don't think, and pretty sure I haven't. No, I read Red Shirts, and I did like Red Shirts. I forgot about that. But this is a really interesting concept. So this disease has swept the earth. It's called Haddon's or Hayden's disease. And the first stage is kind of a flu-like thing. The second stage is something that looks like viral meningitis. And then the third stage, if you are unlucky enough to get the disease go that far, you are locked into your own body. You are conscious, you are awake, but you can't do anything. You cannot move, you cannot speak, nothing like that. So they've put all this money into technology to help people who are locked in interact with the world, and so far it looks like we're following this one victim of Haddon's disease who is interacting with the world through this very specific kind of technology, and he is an FBI agent, and they're trying to solve a murder that involves a person whose job is to interact with Hayden's, which is what they call them, and the world around them. So it's pretty cool so far. I'm kind of excited, and I can't wait to get to some more of this tomorrow. The next book that I really want to get to is one that I intended on getting to for Nonfiction November and did not, and that is Furiously Happy, a funny book about horrible things by Jenny Lawson, also known as the Blogess. She also had a previous book, which I really loved, and how can you not be just excited about this cover with the insane raccoon and the shiny bits everywhere. I love it. But she is amazing. I love her blog. I love her Instagram. I liked her first book, so I'm pretty sure I'm really gonna like this one as well. The next book that I want to get to is one that I literally just got in the mail yesterday. Well, this is going up on December 2nd, so I've had it a few days. Anyway, I got it yesterday from when I was filming. And that is The Ladies of Grace Adieu and Other Stories by Susanna Clark. I read Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell quite a while ago, and have been meaning to pick this up ever since, because this is set in basically the same England as Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. So I'm really excited that I finally have this, and I'm looking forward to reading it. The next book I'm going to be reading is one that has not arrived yet. It will be here hopefully tomorrow-ish. And that's Jules Verne's Paris in the 20th Century. This is what is known as a lost novel, or his lost novel. It was not published until after his death. And from what I've read, it apparently has some pretty accurate predictions about what the 20th century will look like in terms of ideas, not necessarily the exact way it looks, but I'm really interested to see what Jules had to say about the 20th century, because Jules is an interesting fella. I don't know if you've read 20,000 Leagues or not, but he had some weird thoughts. Kind of cool. But yeah, so I'm finally getting that book, and I'm very excited. The next book I'm going to be reading, I don't really know a lot about this. I've had it for a while, and I just haven't gotten to read it, and that is Zombies vs. Unicorns. All I know about it is on this little flap here. It says, it's the epic battle of brains against mains. Which side are you on? And it's got a bunch of different, the Team Unicorn section is edited by Holly Black. Writers like Garth Nix and Libba Bray are in here. So it just, I don't know anything about it. I literally know nothing about it except what I just read to you, but I just happened to walk past it in the bookstore and thought it looked super interesting and figured, why not? I should check this out. Sounded fun. The next book that I want to get to is one that I borrowed from a friend of mine. We swapped books. I let her borrow Library of Souls by Ransom Riggs, and she let me borrow the ARC copy that she got of The Girl Who Slept with God by Val Berlinski. And I haven't heard a whole lot about this book. The back is mostly just blurbs because it's an ARC. But the very top of it says, an entrancing debut about two sisters exiled by their parents when the eldest becomes pregnant. And if I'm not mistaken, it's got to do with a very religious sort of community or family. And it just sounded really good. And my friend thought it was awesome as well. So, I mean, I trust her opinion of it. And I really want to get to this one pretty soon. Not to mention the fact that I really want to get her book back to her. Okay, and the next book is also an ARC that was given to me by a friend of mine who gets this sort of thing all the time, but she has since purchased the original, so it's kind of mine now, I guess. And that is The Marvels by Brian Selznick, and I'm told that this has LGBTQ content, which I'm very excited about and did not know it had until she told me, so yay for that. But I've never actually read any Brian Selznick before. I know that he wrote Hugo Cabret and the other book whose name I can't remember right now, but I have not read his books. I've heard really awesome things about them, but I've just never gotten around to reading one, and I really hope to get to read this one really soon. I've seen, this is, like I said, this is the ARCs. This is not the final finished product, but the actual product looks very similar. It has this very pretty gold cover, but the edges are gilt. They're so pretty. They're so pretty. And the end is still like the other two with the face, which sort of creepy, but the book looks awesome. So, yeah. The next one I've had for a while, and I wanted to get to this summer, but anxiety killed that plan. And that is Let Me Tell You, New Stories, Essays, and Other Writings by Shirley Jackson. These are previously unpublished things, and this was the summer of Shirley Jackson. I've read every single thing in print of hers, I think, except this book and one other, which was a previous collection of unpublished or uncollected things. So I'm hoping to get to this one and maybe, with any luck, get hold of the other book that I haven't read and finally do my Shirley Jackson video, because I really wanted to do that. I love me some Shirley Jackson. And then the last thing that I definitely want to get to during the break, Jen Campbell and Holly over at Library at the Edge of the World are hosting a His Dark Materials Readathon during the month of December, and they will be making some videos about it in January, and there's a hashtag, and I'll leave that information below, including the link to Jen's video announcing this, so she'll talk a little bit more about it. But I finally, just a few weeks ago, picked myself up another edition of this. I read this for the first time probably about 7.5 years ago. I took a class, the religion department here, when I was an undergrad, started a course called Religion and Fantasy Literature, and you do Narnia, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and historic materials, and talk about the religious undertones of them and sometimes the overtones. I'm looking at you, C.S. Lewis, but I had to go out and find an edition, and this was actually the cheapest option that I found in town. I maybe could have ordered it, but I decided I liked this one. And they're all this very shiny, Golden Compass is gold, and then the Subtle Knife is blue, and then the Amber Spyglass is a copper color. And and I really, really like this edition, but I'm really looking forward to rereading these because I had never read them up to that point when I took that class, and then I fell in love with them. And Jen and Holly are huge fangirls for this series, and it is really easy to see why, because it's amazing. So if you've never read this, I would definitely suggest you try to pick it up. If not now, as soon as you can. And if you have already read it, try a reread because this is awesome. So those are all the things that I'm definitely going to try to get to during the break. Hopefully I'll be getting to some more, and hopefully I won't have any anxiety attacks like it happened in the summer and wrecked my leisure reading. But I have a little bit more time during this break than I did the other break, so maybe I'll have plenty of room for that. I have a lot of stuff I have to do for class anyway, but even between semesters, but I definitely will have some leisure reading time. So I hope that you guys are all having a wonderful week and that you're enjoying Vlogmas. And if you've read any of these and you have an opinion, let me know down below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.